And joining us now from the north side of Houston, Texas. I'm not even going to say no if I just said it, but every time I said it, he corrects me because I'm wrong. I'm not from Houston, so I don't say it right. So we ain't going to play that game. Joining us now, man, one of the most, and I say this every time, bro, because I really mean it, one of the most underrated, and I keep pushing your name out there because I'm like, motherfuckers need to know who this guy is.
Facts.
And joining us now, the GOAT himself, Cassette Coast. What's up, man?
What's happening, man? I'm going to tell you, I damn near ruined your intro right now because I was going to be like, hold up. When you said north side, I was like, no. I need to stop him and correct him. That's not how you say it. North side.
You know,
but then you followed it up and explained why you said it instead of saying, so okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because you and Stunner always get on me about it. The times that I've had you on the show, it's like, yeah, you're not saying it right.
Yeah.
Especially Stunner. He was on my ass hard, like, yeah, bro, just don't say it. just don't say it. Shouts out to Stunner.
Yeah.
But hey, man, it's dope to have you back on here, bro. I'm always fucking kissing your ass and shit of how dope I think you are. So, it ain't just for the cameras. And it's always dope to have you on the show and talk about everything you got going on.
Yeah, much appreciated. And I know before, I think the last one-on-one interview we had, it was over the phone.
No, that was the first interview we did.
Was it?
That was the first interview we did.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember. You're right.
Yeah.
But the last time I saw you, I was with La Maquina. I was with Garza and Buns.
Yeah.
Who was promoting the Brown by Honor.
Yeah. Another cool thing, you are the only artist, for whatever the fuck this is worth. It's cool to me. You're the only artist we've had in every part of our growth. Like when I first started the podcast, we started over the phone interviews. We did the interview with you.
Yeah.
Then we moved on and started doing it outside of clicks when we were getting that sponsorship. You came out there, we did the interview there. And then whenever my life was just fucking crumbling all over the place, I was borrowing the studio from Homeboy. That's when you went in there with La Maquina.
Yeah.
And then got my own spot now and you're out here. So again, you're the only artist that has done that, and I appreciate it, for whatever that's worth. But
yeah, I like your setup too, man. Looks cool.
Appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we have you here. It's cool because we've had you here every time that you've had a upcoming project, and it's cool to talk about it or whatnot. So I'm gonna hand it over to my boy Neva Die. See, get his side started, and then we get going with all the questions we got for you, man.
Yeah, so you got the new EP coming out called V, right? Coming out June 23rd.
23rd, yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about it? Like who did the production? What features you got on there?
Well, as far as features, I only got one feature, and that's Buns. I got Buns on one song.
Dope.
Production, let me see. I got Demon, Risky, my brother Slip, Beautiful Monsters did a couple. Who else?
So that's already an insane lineup.
Wait, I'm forgetting somebody. Padron did one.
Shouts out to Padron.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
And my boy Drew did one. And yeah, I think that's it.
Already?
Yeah.
That's dope. Like how many tracks are on there?
It's 8.
8? Dope.
It was 7. Technically it's 7. I threw an intro in there because I didn't want it to be a odd number of tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So I just created an intro at the very last second clutch.
Already.
Like the same day I turned it in, I did the intro for it. Like, all right, now it's even number. Perfect.
Is that like a certain vibe to the album?
Yeah. So actually this project is not really rapping at all. I don't think I rapped. I might have rapped like 2 bars on the whole thing.
Oh shit, we gonna get.
Yeah, this is more of the singing stuff. So this whole project is aimed towards matters of the heart. Dope. It's like for real R&B type music, which is my preference. It's what I listen to on the daily. I don't really listen to rap music. When I'm doing my own thing, I'm by myself in my own space, I'm listening to R&B.
Yeah.
On the drive up here, I wasn't listening to no rap music. And that's how it always is when I'm cleaning the house or whatever. And honestly, if you put me in the studio and I'm not really working on anything specifically, like, I'm not expected to turn in a certain type of project. If you just let me do whatever I feel like doing, more often than not, I'm just sit down and write some love songs.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like.
Yeah.
So that's what this project is. It's just a collection of love songs.
Really gonna poo holes now, boy.
But that's what's so badass about you, because you're so versatile, because you do that, but then when you fucking spit, you just scorching motherfuckers on the mic at the same time.
Well, I gotta let them know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't forget.
don't forget.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, like, just don't think everything is soft all the time.
Already.
But this is the first time that I've ever just come out with an entire project.
Yeah.
It's all based around more of the singing stuff.
So is that something you just kind of taught yourself, or singing, or
Yup.
just kind of played around with it in the studio? And
One thing that I did want to ask, as far as that goes too, because growing up a fan of your music, it was always the rapping coast, and then all of a sudden the singing coast came out, and I never got to ask what was it that, I guess what you're asking, what was it that sparked that? Let me show these motherfuckers I can sing my ass off too.
No, whenever I first came out with Twin Berettas, I was singing on that.
even the
Actually,
screen
more,
falling
yeah.
from the sky, you were kind of
like-
harmonizing a little bit on there with SPM.
The very first time my voice was on a project that was distributed to the masses, it was on the Screwson album, one of the Screwson albums. I think it was the first Screwson.
Yeah, it was the first one.
And I had that song Murderholics.
Murderholics.
And I was rapping on it. But at the same time, I was throwing in a little, watch me wigging, got me feeling life is like a roller coaster, stuff like that. And it's like, I'm rapping, but there's like a melody to it. And that's everything. And since then has kind of just been a build-up from that. You know what I mean? Just learning how to do it, basically.
Yeah.
The one of the songs on the Twin Berettas album, Not Meant to Be, right? So that song was all singing, but I didn't really know how to harmonize. But recording that song, I learned instantly, because I made a mistake when I was recording. I sang a track one way, and then I was going to double it. I was going to record another the same thing on top of it. For those that don't know, doubling is just repeating the same, so you have a stack of the same line, whatever. But I did it wrong the second time. Like, the words were right, I just didn't sing it the way I was supposed to sing it. But it was a perfect harmony when we listened to it in the playback. And Payne was the engineer for that song, and he was like, that what you just did right there? Do that to this part and that part and this part and that part. Like, what? Sing it wrong? Essentially. He's like, you're not singing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing harmony. That's how harmonies work. One, you have your main, and then the harmony parts are just slightly different in pitch, or it might be monotone, or there might be more of a falsetto from what you're intending to do on your main vocal. And I was like, I never knew that. And from then, I just like started playing with it all the time.
Yeah.
Until I started really learning how to do harmonies. And so now I feel like I got it down.
One thing that was really dope about the Twin Berettas album was a time when rap was kind of commercial and dance music, and y'all kind of brought like that hardcore feel with it. I remember talking to DJ Lobo, rest in peace, and he was like real excited about y'all's project coming out.
Yeah.
I saw him at the flea market, and he's like, man, wait till you hear this Twin Berettas shit hard.
Yeah, Lobo was a good dude, man.
And when I heard that Walk in My Shoes, with that track y'all did with Grimm, I was like, and I heard your verse, I was like, man, Coast something special, man. He a different type of artist, just how deep in your thoughts you got. It was a dope ass verse.
That Twin Berettas album was just different in general from what everybody was doing.
Yeah, facts.
Even in-house.
Yeah.
I remember being at the Dope House recording that album, and we was just like tucked off in our own little corner recording it. And every now and then somebody would come by, Carlos would come through, Silvio would come through and sit down and be like, what are y'all doing? Like, they didn't, you know what I mean? It didn't sound like no SPM music.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like no Low G or nobody. They're like, what are y'all doing? And they didn't stop us. They just let us keep going. They put the album out.
Who produced most of that album?
Payne did a lot. There was a producer named Hotan. He did a lot.
Because it just had such a grimy feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We was trying to capture like this almost East Coast sounding vibe but portrayed like Houston type rappers would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving forward to your latest project now, man. Name of the project is V.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into more into the project itself, explain the meaning of V and why we went with V as far as the project title.
So the cop-out answer would be V as a Roman numeral, as this is my 5th project, because I did the Thinking Out Loud 1, 2, and 3. I did Livelihood would make 4, and then this one would be my 5th solo release.
Yeah.
It's a cop-out answer. But the real answer is the V stands for Vanessa. And she is... I know she wouldn't like me to say it this way, but she's basically the one that got away. And I know everybody can kind of relate to that in their lives. Like, everybody has that one that got away. Mm-hmm. But she didn't really get away. I was just, I kind of more pushed her away. Because she was completely cool. She was great. Like, my best friend for a good while. But I was just in a bad space mentally. So I was pushing her away. And after I did that, still in a bad space mentally, I'm like, dang, the one person that was actually looking out for me, look what I did. Yeah. Like, I ruined that. And it just triggered something in me to where, and it's like I said, every time I get in the studio, you leave me alone to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to write some love songs.
Yeah.
And it's like, she would inspire, the thought of her would inspire me, you know, whether it be an entire song about her or it would just be an idea, like something that I remembered just sparked up an idea to where I can create an entire song about it, not necessarily about her, but, you know, that's what kind of, that's where it springboarded from. Like, that was a starting point. Like, oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, I want to write a song about this then. You know what I mean? But that's what the V stands for.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, like, there's double meaning to this. Yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah. Yeah, because when it popped up, like I was telling you off camera, before we started recording, initially when I was like, the V, I started thinking of like, I don't know, Coles ain't finna name this shit over a brand because I started seeing motherfuckers wearing V.
No, and you know what? Like, I used to, for a long time, I would always put on my stories on Instagram, I would always just post the letter V on my stories, right? Every day it would be a V. And people would always ask, like, what is a V for? And I would never reply. I would never tell people what it stood for. But people started in their own minds, they were like, he's getting ready to put out a project. It's going to be called V.
We talked about that episode,
yeah. And after that, it was just like, dang, I didn't intend to kind of like build this V up, but I guess I did. People were anticipating like there's something to anticipate about, you know what I mean? And it wasn't. Yeah. It was just so that she would know that I was thinking about her, because, you know, that's really all I did it for. But like I said, people would start getting in my DMs like, bro, when is that V gonna drop? When are you putting it out?
And that's crazy. About? It landed on your 5th album too. So
it landed on the what are the chances, right?
That's why I say that's the cop-out answer.
Yeah.
It's the 5th release, but no.
He uses V to let her know that he's thinking about them. I'm using his lyrics to let them know I'm thinking about them.
Yeah.
Shouts out to y'all. Nah, bro, one thing about, you know, that we know about you, Coast, is you gonna make us wait a long ass time for these projects, and then you just hit us with like a dope ass project. You know, the last 2 projects, man. One of my favorite songs right now, still, I think it was from, and it's not even a love song. It's just a very catchy. What's it called? Not That It Matters.
Oh yeah.
Because it's got a happy ass feeling in the whole idea of, you know, this shit don't matter, but you know. Obviously, you told us you're gonna, you know, this new project is just music, and I believe you dropped the single. The single that you dropped, is that part of the project as well, or was just that like a teaser?
Yeah, no, Perfectly Imperfect is the first song. It's the first song that I recorded with her in mind before I even thought about making that V into an actual project. Like, I had specifically wrote that song for her, and I was like, this is dope. Like just being in the studio writing it, where in the headspace that I was in, I was like, this is dope. I don't want to stop here. Whether she wants to hear it or not, it doesn't make a difference. I want to keep going because there's something good is coming from this.
Yeah.
It was something, like I said, I was in a bad place mentally, but working on the project, it just built me up and brought me to a different plateau. I felt better, and it was just like that expression that I had to get out. So, yeah.
So this is not just another project. This is a personal.
Absolutely.
That's fucking dope.
How often do you record?
Well, I mean, I record at the crib, so I can record every day. And sometimes I might just go in and record an idea, not even the song. I might just record the idea and then email it to myself, listen to it in the car for a while, and just kind of take notes, essentially, and then go back in and change this or change that. Or sometimes I'll just go in because, I don't know, I wanted to change some ad-libs or something. I might spend an entire day just in there trying to change ad-libs.
I bet Coast Vault's crazy. I bet you got so many songs in there that people never heard.
I got a gang of music, bro.
That's what's up.
I got a lot.
How hard are you when you record these projects, man? Because I know, like, how hard are you on yourself? That's not fucking. How hard are you when you record?
Yeah.
How hard are you on yourself? Because I see you be having like fucking 30 different tracks for every.
That's how I used to record, because I didn't know no better. Like I said, the first time I learned how to harmonize, it was by mistake. I recorded myself. I recorded the line wrong. I sang it incorrectly, and it sounded good. And when I started teaching myself how to record without an engineer, I thought that was cool to like have all these tracks stacked up on top of each other and it make it sound like this whole big thing is happening. But then after a while, it was like, dang, I don't even need, this is overkill. Like, I don't need all these tracks. I get rid of most of them. And, when I first started rapping, like, the thing to do was to always have a double on your main. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, stack the main, record everything stacked. But now I don't do that, because I was like, wait, why do we do that? If you listen to these albums that come on, I don't know, when you listen to any Jay-Z album, you listen to any whoever album, Biggie, Tupac, their vocals, yeah, they just have they have one lead and they might be screaming something in the back. Mm. Why are we dubbing everything?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I want mine to sound more professional, like how they sound. So I was like, nah, I'll just do one main and then I'll add my little hints of harmony in the back and call it a day. So yeah, the whole 30 tracks of vocals, I don't do that anymore.
So not only is V a personal project, but it's also a different coast as far as stuff that you learn with it and everything. So we're gonna get a completely different project from Coast. My question for that is, as you said, 7 tracks. Which one of theirs like the most, I guess, personal that you just, not to make Vanessa feel special or anything, but the one that if she does hear it, that you would expect for her to hit her the most and whatnot?
No, I want her to feel special. She should. I think Perfectly Imperfect, which is already out, I think that one speaks volumes just because, like I said, it was the first and it was intentional.
Yeah.
Like, that was the objective, to write for her. But out of everything else that's on the project, I think the one that I think might be most personal for me is the last song. I forgot what I called that song.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, give us the track list.
Hold up, I forgot what I named the song. Let me see. Let me pull out the old phone. Let me see. The name of the song.
This break is brought to you by
Apple. Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever After is the name of the song. That one is extremely personal, and it's got subtle like inside things that only her and I would pick up on, or people that were close in our little circle would pick up on. But just for the casual listener, it's still that type of thing to where anybody that's ever had that one that got away, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody can relate to it.
Yeah.
But, I just sprinkle some little personal thing, like some inside things in there for her to catch.
Can't wait to hear this motherfucker now.
Yeah.
I like it.
Excluding this project, what's your favorite project that you've done before? Do you have a personal favorite?
Livelihood.
Livelihood?
Yeah. Yeah, Livelihood was a bucket list album for me. That one, I don't know. I had always wanted to have a project where it wasn't just rap, or it wasn't just like this V project is all R&B. I always wanted to have this project that could have a song go in any playlist. Like you said, Not That It Matters. That song I was playing with country music.
Yeah.
Angel We're Doomed, that's my favorite.
Angel We're Doomed was more of like an R&B thing.
Yeah.
But I had like rock music in there. I had hip hop music in there. I had like singer-songwriter music in there. Like I had some there was a song I had like party music in there.
The Upside Down where you spit like a motherfucker.
Yeah, the Upside Down was just straight
rap that over.
What was the first one? The Sun Gonna Shine? The one?
Yeah.
Oh, I know The Sun Gonna Shine Today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like an intro, but even that one I was like, I don't even know. Like a lot of times I don't even know what you call this stuff.
Yeah.
I just record
Alternative.
But the cool thing is what you said. There was not like, oh, it's a rap album.
Yeah.
It was literally what we talked about yesterday. It was like an emotional roller coaster. It took you everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Versatility.
Yeah.
And that's what differentiates you from most artists, because of your artistry,
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I try to be unique. I don't want to be like nobody.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to be like me.
I don't think you don't even really wanted to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think you're so good at your what you're doing that you're in your lane. And I mean, we've said this many times on the show. It's like ain't that many rappers. Like that's why I personally get bothered a lot of these lists. I'm like, when we make these lists, are we talking about talent or are we talking about my homeboy?
Right.
Because a lot of these motherfuckers look like they're just their homeboys putting them on the list.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we're gonna talk about talent, a lot of y'all are missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know a lot of you guys, artists don't really care for them lists. Yeah. But myself, I take that shit personally. I was like, bro.
But with your longevity that you've had in the game, with the record labels that you've been a part of, the movements that you've been a part of, like, you're top tier. Top tier. Fucking takes a legend, man, for real.
So is this project 5? Is it? Goddamn. We just been talking about V for the last fucking 25 minutes.
Come on, man.
And this project V, it's gonna be under La Maquina, or is this like a solo project under yourself?
It's a solo thing that I'm doing myself. Like La Maquina, I didn't really do any funding with it, but like I said, Buns is on there, and he's obviously La Maquina, and like I said, I got production from Risky. He's real close to the team. But no, this is more or less like just something I wanted to throw out. It's not really anything tied to a deal that I got going on with them. It's just like something to build up anticipation, because I still got this album, this full album, Beautiful Monsters, ready to go. But I think this is a good way to kind of, show people, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still releasing music. Matter of fact, here's this V project, and after that, Beautiful Monsters.
So is Beautiful Monsters done? Are you still working on it? Yeah, it's
Beautiful
done.
Monsters been done.
Already.
It was supposed to be released, last September?
Yep.
It was last September, and as a matter of fact, that's one of the questions that we got when we asked people on social media to, shoot us some questions they wanted to know. And one of the questions was, what happened to Beautiful Monsters? Why was Beautiful Monsters not released, or why are we waiting for Beautiful Monsters up to this date?
Well, so talking with Garza, talking with Rob G, the three of us collectively where we weren't bumping heads. We were in a debate. Like, what's the better approach? Me, I want to put the album out. It's 14 songs. I want to put the album out in its entirety. But Garza was like, well, hold on. EPs are kind of like the thing, you know. You should put out Beautiful Monsters Part 1 and have 7 of them. Beautiful Monsters Part 2, a couple months after, have the other 7. And I could see his argument on the marketing side of things, because if they're 2 separate projects, we could allocate a certain amount of money budget-wise to promoting the first one and then promoting the second one. So in the end, you know, I get more videos for each. If we put it in segments, I'll have, you know, a certain amount of videos for Part 1 and a certain amount for Part 2. Whereas if we just put the whole thing out, you know, I might get just this couple videos for the entire project. Yeah. So I get what he's saying there. But as the person that recorded this body of work and wants to present it a certain way, that's where I'm like, yeah, but everything is just cohesive the way it is if we just put it out in its entirety, like all 14 all at once. You know, that's the way I recorded. That's why I intended it to be received. But like I said, I see where they're coming from. They see where I'm coming from. But ultimately, like I said, having this EP, this V project come out now is kind of, hopefully it's like a snowball thing to where I show people that there's momentum now with releasing music. So I want to get them with this. I want people to understand that you know, I'm not out. I'm still here. I'm still releasing. I'm gonna give you this, and then after that, we're gonna backdoor it with a whole nother Beautiful Monsters. Yeah.
So V drops. V becomes available on all streaming services on June 23rd.
Yep.
When can we expect Beautiful Monsters after that?
I can't tell you. I don't have a date for it. That's why it's not like I'm just trying to be like sneaky when I'm gonna release it. We just don't have a date for it yet. Hopefully soon, but everything has to be timed. You know, with this V project, you know, obviously we want to give that its own time to do its thing before we throw something else out. So I don't know if I was just to pull something out of my head, I would say September, October, something like that.
Can we expect any videos from V? You been working on any?
I have not shot any videos as of yet, but that's not to say I won't, because I more than likely will. Yeah. But you know, now I'm thinking about it, this is the first project this V project is the first one I've ever released during the summer. Everything I've ever released has been in the wintertime. It's always been October, November, something like that. Yeah. Even dating all the way back to the Twin Berettas. That was an October release, I believe. It's my first time in the summer.
Already.
It's hard to shoot motherfucking videos right now. It's hot as hell out there. It's hot as hell. We can't be shooting no videos. Yeah.
Fuck going outside.
Quick little background story. Because we were talking about Twin Berettas. Did you know that whenever they dropped Twin Berettas, they had a fine Elmo. I was gonna say Find Elmo. Find Waldo. Find Waldo Elmo, contest.
I want to know where you be shopping for books at, because they got bootlegs over there, man.
And what happened? What happened? What was this? Find Waldo.
So it was Find Waldo. I think they had
Where's
2 or 3.
Waldo?
Where's Waldo? I still got it wrong. And it was like 2 or 3 of them. And I was one of the guys that founded them, so I got like I think it was like the autograph poster and all that shit.
Damn, that's
I don't remember what the little promo was, but it was something stupid we were doing, like when we were sitting. Shout out to Mike Frost, he's the one that did that Twin Berettas artwork. We was a lot younger, and I think at the time I wasn't even 20 years old.
That's when forums were a thing, because that's where the contest was held at. On Forum, Dope House Forum, I think.
Yeah, I was young, bro, and I was immature in the way I thought. And sitting there with Mike Frost going over this artwork, there's a picture of a gun on the cover, and it's me and you know, it's like grungy texture all over everything. I'm like, man, we didn't have some fun with this. I was like, hey, Mike Frost. I was like, hey, Mike, can you like put a Where's Waldo somewhere in all of this? Just and he was completely with it because he was probably thinking the same thing. Like, dang man, I'm always doing these serious ass covers, man. Jesus. So he was quick, jumped online, found a Waldo, put 2 guns in his hands, and hit him somewhere in the artwork. And then I
still have that poster.
Do you?
I still have that poster. It was autographed by him and Quota.
Yeah, already.
And, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it was, to them it was a silly game. To, to us over here, like, I went to school, like, niggas, you ain't gonna believe what I did. I got myself an autographed poster. Just quick little backstory, man, because, like,
man, I ain't thought about that in so long.
Yeah, that shit has always been cool to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy to me, growing up listening to you guys, and then I have, like, fucking conversations with fucking Rapid Rick and all these people, and it's like,
yeah.
How the fuck did I get here? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even from Houston. I'm not even from Texas. I was born in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? I started learning English when I started listening to y'all shit. Man. So it's crazy. That was just on a quick personal note. But back to Cassette Coast, man. So we got V coming out June 23rd. You said visuals might be dropping. Do you think we're gonna get a visual before the project drops, which is really 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
No, not before the project drops. No, if anything, we'll just be doing like a lot of quick little Instagram promo. But as far as like videos, like full length videos and stuff like that, that'll have to be after the release. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the videos because it's like listening to you rap this whole time. We see the videos as a certain thing. I think one of my favorite videos you ever did was probably Still Walking. That was the actual name of the track, right? Still Walking?
Yeah.
Because I was getting confused because you also had a song called The Other Side of My Heart, which I always thought that was the name of Still Walking, but you get it.
I can see that.
Yeah. But to think of you doing R&B and to think of how the video is going to be about it, to me, that's pretty fucking interesting to see how that's going to come about. Do you have any idea of what song is going to get a video? And do you have an idea of how the video is going to play out?
I don't, but I will say this. I don't think I want to shoot a video where I'm singing. If anything, man, I wish I could remember the name of the song. It was on one of the Gnarls Barkley albums where obviously CeeLo is singing, and the video is not focused on CeeLo or Danger Mouse. It's basically they hired some actors to sit in this diner and, they're having lunch or whatever. And you hear the song and you don't see CeeLo and Danger Mouse until the end. They make a cameo in their own video. Yeah. They're like in the kitchen part of the diner cooking or whatever. I think I would probably be cool with something like that because, like I said, it's one thing to come out on a music video and you rapping or whatever and you're doing all that rapper hands and stuff like that. But I don't want to do the R&B hands. I don't want to do the R&B hands.
Hey, whenever we did that love song, I apologize. Boy, we caught hell, especially him, because nobody knew who the fuck I was. But Cole was like, the comments, people were mad. Like, Cole, why are you singing? Cole, like, man, chill. Like, this shit ain't that serious. So I could imagine now motherfuckers would be like, what the fuck, Cole? You switch, bro. You changed.
I don't want to do the R&B hands. So... yeah, hopefully.
But I mean, that's a good idea, doing it artistic like that, you know?
Or having you like in the background where you just kind of see you, but not really see you. Yeah. But you like the guy performing in the diner sort of thing. We're over here trying to let me write your rap. Hold on, let's real quick. Hey, man, we got a couple questions that we got from people from social media, man, that I would like to, let them get their questions answered. And, we got a couple, about 4 or 5 of them, and see if you can answer these questions for them. We've already answered 2 of them. We have one from ALeonTX on Instagram. His question is, any artists you still want to work with?
Not really.
Cole said, fuck y'all.
No. I don't know, man. It's like, okay, so I record at home by myself. I'm comfortable that way.
Yeah.
I can mess up as many times. I can experiment with things for however many hours it takes until I come up with something and not feel judged. And I know collaborating with somebody, another artist, I think we say featured. We feature with somebody. It's gotten so routine now that it's like it don't even mean nothing. Feature, collaborate. It don't mean nothing. But if you still have the way of thinking to where collaborating with another individual is supposed to be like the meshing of two worlds coming together, and it's more like an intimate thing where, you know, two minds are gonna create this something that didn't exist before.
Combining your ideas.
Yeah. And if you look at it like that, it's like the thought of it is cool, but when it comes right down to it, I just want to be left alone in my own studio and let me record, and that's it. Like if I invite you to my house to come record, it's very rare I invite people over, and that's saying something. And more often than not, the people that I invite over are the people that I already have these relationships with. Because if we're gonna collaborate, I don't want to just collaborate with a stranger.
Yeah,
I want to know who you are.
Yeah,
and so that's why on all my projects, more often than not, you hear the same features. You get the Lucky, you get, you know, Garza, Clever, Stunner, whoever.
He just commented right now. He called you Big Sexy.
I hate when he says that, man. I hate when he says
Sexy Coast. Shouts out to
he funny, man.
Shouts out to A Leon on Instagram. Then we got Chicano Vega. Is he still running with La Maquina? I think you already answered that, but
absolutely. Yeah, still with the crew. Shout out Garza, shout out Bun, shout out Rob, KP. Shout out Fellow. You know, that's still the team, man. Yeah, like I said, this is just a project I'm putting out on my own just to kind of create momentum to the big La Maquina project.
Yeah, beautiful monsters. Yeah. My boy 05 Baldo, he said, is he going to do Christian rap now? He has one song with Lucky.
I got a couple songs with Lucky.
Whole album.
Well, he wasn't Christian.
Yeah,
I wasn't Christian.
Yeah, on the Christian side of things. Am I gonna become a Christian artist? I can't say. I will say that I have an understanding of why people do that now, or why Lucky did it. I have an understanding, and there's certain aspects. Even if I don't fully commit to making that kind of music, there are aspects of it that I think I will adopt and bring into my own personal music. And that's the fact that, you know, it's one thing to rap and be super hard and, you know, I shoot up whatever, or I got this and I got that. I think we've done enough of rapping and bringing, if not ourselves down, but bringing other people down, talking shit about whoever, even if it's not towards somebody specifically. It's more boasting, like I'm this and you're not. Or we'll talk about the struggle, the pain, the you know, the trials and tribulations that we went through to come up. But I think a lot of times what we forget to do, and what the Christian artists are always doing, is in this side of music, when we rap like that, we don't ever tell people how to get out of it. We don't ever guide people like, I know this part of life is hard. If anything, we're just like bringing people down more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's cool to have that subject matter, but just let's end it off with something uplifting. Yeah. Something that you can take away from it and feel somewhat better, some sense of promise.
Yeah.
You know, like things can change.
Yeah.
Like we can still talk about whatever, but let's not leave it there. Yeah. Let's make sure we add something to it. And I think that is one of the things that I'm gonna, no matter what happens, I want to adopt that to where I don't just keep bringing people down.
Yeah.
More positivity.
More positivity. Yeah.
And you know, and it also adds playback value to your music. Instead of, like you said, I'm personally tired of the whole swinging and banging and I'm better than you. You know, everything you were saying, I'm tired of that. Yeah. To where I don't even listen to, I rarely listen. I have like my favorites. And outside of that, it's like, dog, I'm listening to Spanish rap because their music is more like struggles that people can relate to. Yeah. They're not comparing themselves like, oh, I got car, I got hoes, I got this. It's more of like, hey, this is our everyday struggles. They talk about the girls that go missing in Monterrey and shit. So, you know, and it's cool to see. At first, like, you know, we talked about it on the previous episode. At first, when Lucky did the whole Christian thing, I was one of those people that's like, come on, Lucky, man. Like, I'm used to you over here fucking hoes and shit. What you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? And respectfully, I'm not bashing Lucky or anything. I'm just saying, like, that was my first thing. Yeah. But then I was like, okay, I get it. Lucky is not 20-something no more. Lucky has a family now. He's got to set an example for his kids and wants the next generation to understand that, hey, it's okay to, you know, you went through a phase in life, but it's okay to change. Like, change is always good. Yeah. And, you know, once I understood that, you know what I mean, I was like, that's cool. And then I guess when, you know, the people that follow you on Instagram, they started to see, you know, the path that you were going and whatnot, as far as, you know, getting closer to, you know, I guess since you are close to Lucky and, you know, you started going to church and all that stuff, and then you dropped the single and it's like, ah, shit, Coast's gonna go Christian hip hop or whatnot.
But if I did, it shouldn't be a bad thing. Like, oh man,
it's not.
Like he's, you know, it's not like I would just abandon my audience. Yeah. Like everything, I was still, like I'm saying, I was still feed people what's expected from me, but I just want to make sure I add that positivity in there. Yeah. I want to lead people towards something to where they're not walking away from it feeling depressed.
And I feel like you're real good at giving that, like, let's say you're talking about loving Christ or loving God. You're pretty good at making it sound as if it's like for example, My Limelight. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not really a song about a female.
It's not.
Right?
It's not. My Limelight is actually, the title gives it away. Yeah. The song is about fame, worshiping fame, wanting to be famous, like the same way I treat Vanessa, the one that got away. My Limelight is, I would do anything to be famous because I am so in love with the idea of everybody being in love with me. Yeah. That's what that song was about.
And see, and that's what I'm saying. You're real good at making it sound like one thing. So even if you were to go Christian, I'm sure you could. Yeah, I'm sure you could make it sound as if you're not Christian, but you're still, you know. Yeah, you get it. I don't even know how to explain it, but you get it.
Yeah, no, but shout out to Lucky. I'm happy for him, man, because if anybody knew him as well as I do, it's crazy to be like, he's still alive after everything that he's gone through. Yeah. It's crazy to think that out of all these things that could have taken him out, none of it did. And then ultimately, he changes his life complete 360 or 180, and now he's uplifting other people. And it's like, wow, I never would have thought, out of anybody in the circle, I never thought it would have been him.
Would have been Lucky, yeah. And he's touching people. You read these comments, and I mean, you know, shouts out to all the fan base that stuck around, because.
And you know, and I don't know if he probably ain't never told nobody this. He told me before though, but I remember him saying that, I guess the final straw was one night on New Year's, he had got wasted or whatever and started talking crazy to his family, and they packed up and burnt off and left him at home. And it was in those moments where he found himself in the bathroom on his knees talking to God, like, man, my family just left. What's wrong with me? This and that. I feel a certain kind of way when I hear him talk about that, because that New Year's, I was at his house. Actually, it was just me and his family. I was the only guest, and I brought the alcohol. And we were drinking, and when I left that night, I felt like he was cool, because I seen him like gone out of his mind before. But that night I felt like, yeah, we drank, but he's cool. Never did I think that when I went home and I went to bed, he was still at home going through what he ended up going through.
Yeah.
Where he found himself talking to God. And it was from, he says that it was from that moment that he started getting in church, started, you know, getting in his word and reading, and just made the, just gave it the effort to try to change. And I don't know, it just, I feel a certain kind of way, but I'm happy that it played out that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thankfully, it went that route to where he found.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
And like, bro, he's like a completely different person. Yeah. Like the dude that, on that New Year's night, the dude that I left inside that house, that was the last time I saw that person. Because after that,
completely blessed Luciano, changed. Like he calls himself.
Yeah, big blessed.
Big blessed. Just to give you your flowers, man. You don't know this. I messaged you one time, but you've changed my life 3 times.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I just want to give you your flowers this time. The first time, to be very fucking honest, if you would have never done that song with me, I apologize. You know, which you hooked me up with that fucking verse, like not literally, but you hooked me up as far as you didn't have no reason to kill that fucking hook the way you did. I wouldn't even be here more than likely, right? Because that song is what made me relevant, and that helped me build who JVaz is now. Because if I would have never become relevant, then I'll be a fucking bum in Hempstead, right? Like, you know what I mean? So appreciate that. Second, whenever I reached out to you about keto, dog, I was 380 pounds, pushing 400 pounds. Yeah. I went down to 280. I gained some of the weight back. I had a rough-ass year last year, but however, I'm starting to lose it again. I'm still not 380, so shouts out to you for putting me on game on that. I appreciate that. I'm actually under 300 again, so I feel happy about that.
There you go.
And then the third one, last year, actually it was you, Buns, and GT, but you know, you were part of that group. Mm-hmm. Whenever I had you guys over to do the episode, I didn't even have a studio. My dad had just passed away, and I was like, fuck podcasting. I'm done with podcasting. My mind was all fucked up, and I had turned the studio in, and then GT hit me up, and he's like, hey, let's do this interview, blah, blah, blah. So I just found a studio, and I was like, let's do this studio. And whenever I interviewed you guys, that just kind of like woke me up. And I was like, man, and then on top of my dad just passing, they had told me I probably had lung cancer. So in my head, I'm like, fuck, I'm probably going to die within the next 2 years or a year or whatever, you know, whatever span you have left with lung cancer. But whenever I interviewed you guys, it was just like the fan side came out, and I was like, bro, even if I was to die in 2 years, or even if I died this summer, you know, last year, this is what I love doing. I love interacting with these people, and, you know, being able to ask the questions that I wish I would have been able to ask when I was just a fan. You know, so you guys kind of took me out of that slump, and ever since then, I just started pushing harder, started fucking with everybody else that I've been networking with, and then here we are today. So appreciate you for you know, without even knowing, you've helped me in those 3 different phases of my life, and I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you. Bro. Appreciate you. And
I like that, man. I never would have known had you not said anything. Man, it's stuff like that is cool, man. Like, a lot of times people will keep those kind of details to themselves. Yeah. And just live with it.
Yeah.
But I respect you to where you thought enough of me to, you know, say, hey, I was going through this, and you interacting with you did this and that.
Yeah.
And it shows that, you know, because some people are all about pride. Like, I'm a man on my own. You know what I'm saying?
Self-made, baby.
Yeah. It's not everybody that would allow themselves to show their vulnerability. So I appreciate the fact that you do that, and not only that, but that you expressed it to me how I helped you out in those ways. So watch this segue though. I feel like the same way that you say, you know, you were in a dark place because of your dad, and you finding out about lung cancer, and having this interview, having this interaction with us kind of turns you into fan mode and brought you out of that. It's kind of how this whole V project was, to where, like I said, I was in a dark place, and the way you say you were a fan of us, it's like I became a fan of this girl. and focusing on that brought me out. You know, so it's kind of a testament to my vulnerability. Yeah. You know, and I think everybody sometimes needs something. If it's not music or if it's not podcasting, interviewing, everybody needs something, some kind of way out,
motivation.
Yeah, something. Yeah. I wish I had an answer. You know, it was like a blanket thing for everybody. It would work for anybody. Actually, I might talk to God. That's cool. That was another segue. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I just, it's important, bro.
Yeah.
Mental health is important. And whatever you have to do to get yourself out of that, wherever you have to take your mind to get yourself out of that, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be so prideful where you're not vulnerable.
Yeah, I think pride is the biggest killer out here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people don't want to speak on, I was dealing with, with this and that. I personally don't give a damn. I've always been very transparent. Yeah. I mean, you know me. Yep. And because I feel like what you just said, I feel like we can help other people. Yeah. And to let them know that it's okay. Like, life is not perfect. Life is not all sunshine and rainbows. We're all gonna go through it. And like you said, anything that we can find that can help us get out of that slump, go for it. And shit always gets better. You know what I mean? And one thing that my dad always would tell me, whenever my brother passed, my dad would be like, hey, you can stay in your room, cry about it all day. But outside, that motherfucker don't stop. Mm-hmm. He's like, so it's up to you how much time you want to waste. Because cry about it, drink it, whatever you want to do.
The world will not stop turning.
It ain't going to stop. Mm-hmm. And the people out there don't care. Yep. He's like, so snap out of it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, again, appreciate you guys for that, because after that, it was just kind of like, dog, this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I do. Like, this is
who JVaz is.
That whole hour and a half that we spent in that interview, I forgot about everything that was happening. I forgot that motherfuckers had just told me, oh, you might have lung cancer. Like, fuck, nigga, I'm going to die. I forgot. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a mental getaway, and I was like, hey, bro, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? And shit, we ain't looked back since. But enough of me. Cassette Coast, V, June 23rd. Available on all streaming services.
Yep.
I'm excited, man. It's going to be dope.
It's going to be dope, man. Excited to hear it. We're going to be selfish and ask you to give us a preview. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, we can't do this here. But once again, make sure you guys follow him on all social media pages if you haven't done so at Cassette Coast. And make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel, because you never know. He might drop a damn video tomorrow. Who knows? But most importantly, V drops on June 23rd. Any last words to the fans? Any last words to Vanessa? And anything else you might want to say to the camera?
Hey man, I appreciate everybody rocking with me. I appreciate y'all rocking with me for as long as y'all have. My apologies for taking so long to put music out, but here we go. V is gonna be that one that's gonna just set everything off, and then after that it's gonna be Beautiful Monsters. And then after that, who knows? It might be the Lucky and Coast Christian album. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? But that's the cool thing, is nobody knows. Whatever the future
like
brings.
Coast knows. But he don't want to tell. I think Coast is teasing it.
Coast don't know. Don't know. Nah. And I don't want to know. I want it to happen the way it does. Same thing with this project and how it relates to Vanessa. You know, if it does anything for her, cool. But like I said, ultimately it was a thing for me to kind of build myself up in my mental health, and it worked. Yeah, I'm feeling absolutely great about this project and just about how things are looking in general. So yeah.
Once again, Cassette Coast, King of the North Side. Just because I don't know how to say the North, but y'all get it. And appreciate you guys tuning in. June 23rd, V, Cassette Coast. We appreciate you, bro.
Much respect.
Texas motherfucker. Texas motherfucker.